Finally gonna finish Fates?
Hmm?
Fire Emblem Fates, are you ever gonna finish it?
What was that word you just were saying at me?
Meh?
No, the one before that.
I'll do it myself?
No? When did you say that?
Well, that's the answer.
How's that the answer?
Because I'll do it myself. There were recipes for desserts in the box. She'd been collecting them so she could try and make them for Axel someday.
I put them there in the first place, so I should be able to get them myself.
She got herself fired up and looked up at the shelves again.
Is there something you need up there?
She couldn't help but flinch when someone suddenly called out to her. When she turned around, Kyrie was standing there with a curious expression. She nodded, frustration on her face, with her hands still reaching for the shelf. Did we do this one?
I'm almost there, but... I guess technically we went through. Oh yeah, Axel saw us. Blah blah blah.
What should I do?
What do I do? What am I supposed to do? You mean about Axel? Just leave him be. He said he understood. Well, yeah, but I'm not sure he really did.
We'll stop cheating on him and maybe he will.
And then Cora's like, nah.
He'll easily understand when you stop cheating.
Nah. I have to explain things to Axel. Axel, are you in?
No, I'm out. He leaned against his door after he closed it and listened to Cora's footsteps disappear into the distance. He slid down onto the floor once he could no longer hear them. What did I do? She said nothing had happened. Just can't get the words out in front of her. I have so much I want to tell her.
Whoa, Axel wants to talk. He really is in love.
Then why are we cheating on him?
So we're a bad girlfriend.
Oh, stop making us be a bad girlfriend. I don't want to be a bad girlfriend.
Well, it's a good thing you're not the one voicing her then, I guess. I wonder if Axel is busy again today.
She hadn't spent any time with him since that incident with Kyrie. Are you free?
Are you free?
No, I'm busy.
Huh? Oh.
What's wrong?
No, if you're busy, it's fine. Mr. Karamia told me you had the day off, so I thought we could spend the day together. But if you're busy, it's fine. Have fun by yourself.
Sorry. Oh, also, I appreciate that you came to talk to me. Well, this is no good. It's much harder to pick the right words for a letter than it is for a formal report. But it's much easier to get my feelings down than when I'm face to face with her. Writing a letter, huh? Sometimes Kyrie does have decent advice.
Oh, poor Axel with that big smile.
And sometimes he's a cheating dirtbag.
Well, Kyrie is not the one cheating.
Shouldn't
Technically.
be making advances on somebody's girlfriend.
He shouldn't, but it's not cheating. He's not the one in a relationship with Axel.
That'd be hilarious. Stay quiet.
I'll just embarrass Mr. Kyrie if I correct her. And he's being so nice to buy me something. I should keep quiet.
Are you being serious?
Are you being serious?
Yes, of course. Why do you require more confirmation? Were you anticipating a different answer?
No.
Yes.
You're always doing such cruel things, Mr. Kyrie. I'm just trying to be careful.
Such cruel things, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Kyrie, cruelty, they almost sound the same.
No, they don't.
Sure they do.
Shoot him. Darn. Shut up. Might want to save soon.
Yes. But not yet.
I said soon, not immediately.
Mr. Kyrie, may I come in?
Yes, please do.
This is so cringy.
I've been waiting for you, Miss Cora. I knew you would come to me.
Really?
Indeed. I prepared some cider while I waited. Would you care for a glass?
Oh, I don't really...
It's not very strong. It might as well just be juice. Please, have a sip.
All right, just a little. Wow, you've stopped doing the thing.
Cause I'm just like, why? Why is this happening?
What do you mean, why is this happening?
Why is this happening?
You wanted to talk, you walked into the room, and he offered you a drink. Isn't that better than the thing that Karamia does when you walk into the room to talk?
I mean, yes, but that's not a high bar to me.
What's so wrong with being offered cider?
Everything.
Why?
Joking, of course. Actually, as far as I know, I haven't been a fan of cider, personally.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not like apples?
No, apples are perfectly fine.
Do you not like... apples? Apple juice?
Yeah, I'm not a big apple juice person, honestly.
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon's okay.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, types of cider. So, you might like some other kinds.
Maybe? I don't know.
But I'm still waiting for the reaction from you.
I haven't done it in so long, you do realize.
I know. But this was more abrupt. Also, how often have we had up to here Kyrie getting this close to us?
A few times.
A few, but it's not often.
Well, yes, it's normally a Karamia getting in your face.
How's the taste?
My head feels kind of fuzzy.
I drugged you!
You barely drank anything. I guess you really don't have any tolerance. Just to confirm things, does your coming here mean that you've chosen me over Axel?
Yes.
I think you've made an excellent decision. I'll be able to love you much better than he ever could.
Mr. Kyrie! We can't!
Why? Didn't you just break up with Axel?
Hey, 6 feet.
This isn't social distancing! Kyrie!
It was either that or 6 inches for Jesus.
I mean, I think they're about 6 inches apart here.
Not their faces.
Shh.
If you're feeling guilty, then I know. If you need an excuse, why don't we blame the alcohol?
Bad Kyrie.
It's all the alcohol's fault. It got you drunk and you lost your inhibitions.
I'm like, technically, if it is a thing that she wants and, like, would want if she was sober, like, he's not suggesting anything wrong per se, just, you know, underhanded.
Bad Kyrie.
Yeah.
You can blame what happens next on me. It's all my fault. I seduced you and broke the two of you up. You can just entrust your pure body to me and let me take you.
Bad Kyrie.
We'll reach heaven together.
Are you saying you're gonna both die?
Yep.
That'd be an
Axel.
abrupt ending.
Are you here?
What?
So, Mr. Kyrie and I.
You picked Kyrie? Good choice.
Don't say that so lightly.
It's not as if there's anything I can say to change your mind at this point. Also, I think he should be better for you than I ever could be.
I feel like realistically, aside from Axel is bad at communication, he's kind of the best boyfriend of the three.
Other than he's bad at communication.
Yeah, but he is not pushing you to do anything before you're
That is
ready
true.
to. He's not the one pushing you down on beds.
Ugh.
Although Kyrie seemed more ready to take a no if it came down to a no. Karamio was like, don't tease me,
Signorina.
Signorina. Yes.
Come on, don't tease me, Signorina.
Waiting for you to barf on that.
But no, you're right. Out of the three, he probably is the best if he could learn how to communicate better than...
Axel's the least likely to pressure her. Kyrie was like, I'm ready to seduce you. But if you really don't want to be
Axel
seduced,
ever
I'll just
try
pretend
to
I
pressure
did.
us into anything?
No, because he is way too self-conscious about it. He felt bad that he would potentially be pressuring us into holding hands. That's how you know he didn't pressure us into, like, sex. Because he's like, oh no, holding hands, but what if that's too much for her?
Oh, Axel.
Yeah, he's very sweet.
But very much...
He's just
I suck
awkward
at
and
this.
bad at communication.
Just date somebody else. I suck at this.
What's that? Suffers depression and self-esteem issues?
Yeah, Axel's problems. He should probably go see a therapist.
Probably.
I don't know how to have a relationship. I've always been alone. I would say same, but that last part, I'm like, no, I can't say same to that.
I mean, I was planning on saving once we seemed to be officially like...
I said same.
Oh.
I was gonna say same. But I've always been alone. I can't say that I've always been alone.
Uh-huh.
It may have been for a short while, but when you touched my heart, it was a lot of fun. But I don't want to feel like this anymore. I won't fall in love again. You were the first and last person I ever loved and ever will love. Thank you, Cora.
I just feel bad for him. Oh look, the load screen thing went back to normal. I guess that means it's time to save. I'm sorry, I lost again.
What did you lose?
Hmm?
What did she lose?
At cards or something?
I don't know. I'll just have to win it back. Now then, have some more chips.
I don't think I've really got a head for gambling.
Indeed, you don't.
So you agree?
Naturally. I can tell exactly what hand you have just by looking at your face. Your instincts and techniques are non-existent. Any dealer would find you an easy mark.
Really? Maybe I should quit while I still can. I'll just waste these chips.
Oh no. Please continue. For my sake.
Stop wasting food, Cora!
For your sake?
Yes. I love watching you become dejected.
Mr. Kyrie, did you bring me here knowing I'd lose?
You finally noticed. Yes, I invited you all along because I wanted to see you lose. I didn't have the slightest expectation of you winning, so please, take your time and enjoy the casino.
Give up!
I can't waste money like that. I could probably buy a nice dinner for the two of us with this much money.
We can always go out to eat. We're enjoying ourselves right now, so why not indulge?
Aren't you the only one having fun?
You really know me well. Thank you for always entertaining me.
Ba.
Bah.
Ba.
Bah.
Ba.
Excuse me. Well, I have to say this much. Kyrie has absolutely got the arrow ace room going on. Here's so much ace. And, a splash of arrow, too. Just to balance it out a little,
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. What?
Why him?
At least it's not Karamia. That would just be ironic.
That would be terrible. Just terrible.
Excuse me.
Please, relax.
What did you want to talk about?
What do you think I want to talk about?
Something sad.
Something sad?
Sad. Like what?
Murder?
Like breaking up?
What a strange thing to say. Haven't we only just begun dating?
Well, I broke up with Axel as we just began dating, so
Yeah, but this has been even shorter.
a trend!
We still have a long road ahead of us, is what I'd like to say. Are you really sure you want to be with me?
No.
Huh?
Kyrie
Well,
whispered.
According to you, I feel like the answer from any of them would be no. But we're playing a dating sim. We're gonna date them.
What is a dating sim with no dating?
A single life sim?
Kyrie whispered as he hung his hat on the coat rack. The glance he sent her through the mirror almost seemed like he was testing her.
I'm asking you if you're sure you want to be in a romantic relationship with me.
He took off his jacket and undid his tie. He continued to press her as he loosened his shirt collar with his finger?
Now I'm confused. Well, what about you? Are you sure you want to be with me?
He turned around and smiled before walking over and wrapping his arms around her from behind.
I'm the one asking the question. Isn't it more than obvious that I want to be with you? That's why I stole you away.
Wow, unlike the other one where we started dating Karami and there was never a mention again.
Yeah. He covered her eyes with his gloved hands.
Yes. I stole you away. You should have been happy back then, but I snuck up on you from behind, covered your eyes, whispering for you to come to you come to me.
For you to you.
For you to you come to me. I found the thought of letting someone else have you distasteful, so I instigated things. I didn't give it much thought when I finally got my hands on you, but lately it's been weighing on me deeply.
He took his hands off her eyes and moved them to her waist. He cocked his head to the side as he gazed at their reflections in the mirror.
So what do you think? Am I a good enough man for you?
You're too good.
What? Kyrie? Good? What? Since when? I thought he was evil.
That's the answer. You're too good.
We're so good, we're evil. I think you're too good for me.
Why?
You're so smart and so important.
But I have a bad personality, don't I?
Yes.
He has a point. Is that something you should be saying about yourself?
No, but it happens to be true.
I wouldn't care even if you had the worst personality. I love you.
I see. You have no idea what the word love means. Got it. At any rate, I'm glad I asked you how you felt. I'm relieved that you want to be with me.
So even you have things you worry about, huh, Mr. Kyrie?
Is that so wrong?
Yes.
Oh no, I think it's very wonderful and human of you.
Beep. Boop.
Human, huh? Well, I guess that question wasn't the sort of thing you'd expect from me normally. But you're the only one. The only one I've said something like that to, or revealed this side of myself to. I could only reveal myself once I decided not to let you go. Your body and soul all belong to me. I have no intention of letting you go, so make sure you remember there's no point in running.
I wasn't going to run anyway.
I'm not so sure about that. No one can know the future. No one can ensure that they won't vanish.
Poof!
Wow, Kyrie having an existential crisis over here. Now I'm the one like, oh, same.
No. He flashed an impish smile and said,
I'm quite adept at wearing out my welcome. However, it may be a mere verbal promise, but this sentiment makes me very happy. Thank you, Miss Cora.
wow.
I want to know why they still keep calling each other Miss and Mister.
Wow.
So formal. You know, they're dating now.
Because Cora's an awkward child?
Miss Cora, please walk on this side.
Cora took... Yeah.
Cora took Cora's hand.
Kyrie took Cora's hand and guided her to walk next to the wall. He smiled gently when she looked up at him, puzzled.
We're on a date for once, so I'd like to avoid any potential trouble.
Oh, here comes Caesar.
Potential trouble?
The moment she replied, there was an explosion. Oh gosh, dang it. Gretel. He held her close with one arm, protecting her with his whole body as he pulled his hat down over his face.
Wow, giving him more credit than he actually did.
Oh, well, whatever.
This sort of thing. See? Look over there.
ここで会ったが100年目。今日こそお前たちを倒すぞ。一昨日も会ったくせに覚えてないの？小さいくせに脳みそはババアなの。
Come to think of it, have you checked at any point if my voice is even loud enough when I'm doing the Kyrie voice?
No comment.
Can you check, please?
How? You're not doing it.
Sigh.
ババア。許さないぞ。絶対に泣かせてやるからな。
Okay, fine. Better question. Is it considerably softer when I do Kyrie compared to Cora?
In my ears, I mean, you're lower, so you're talking a little bit softly, but like I can hear you fine over the stream. Don't know.
Okay, well, you know you could check in our old stream, right? Our last one.
Yeah, I could.
Are you refusing to?
No.
Do I need to put us on pause and grab my phone and headphones to like double check myself?
No.
Okay, then will you check now?
Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do. I'm so loud.
That's your takeaway?
I mean, I just heard your Kyrie voice. It is. I mean, it's soft, but like, it's not. It's fine to me, at least.
Okay. I'll turn your volume down a little bit.
But as I said, I am flippin' loud.
I'll turn you down a bit. Talk?
What?
Keep talking.
What am I supposed to talk about? There's nothing I should ever talk about. I should just be
Okay,
silent.
fine. I think this is a good volume now.
But I should be so silent. I should be asleep. Good night.
No sleep.
あんたの絶対の
So
信憑
Brooklyn?
性限りなくゼロに近いわよね。うるさいうるさいうるさい。行くぞエリング。ブレーテルをバカバカだ。
さっきはヘンゼルの相手をしろって言ってたのに。
そうだぞ。こっちはこっちで楽しくやってるってのによ。
メリサス。
承知いたしました。加勢いたしましょう。
These children.
ババアにジジイにいいコンビじゃない。ババアって言うな。
These children.
And a grandpa.
The
Is
grandpa's
that-
not doing much to rein in the children.
A dispute between Famiglia, Graham, and Anderson. As you may have surmised from their conversation, it's a ridiculous, childish fight, but they're using dynamite and hand grenades. You couldn't exactly describe those items as toys. There isn't anything to be gained by getting involved. Let's take another route to avoid them.
Date somebody else to avoid them.
I mean, yeah, if we dated someone else, we wouldn't be in this situation. Technically correct. Tut, 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 tut.
Miss Cora, why have you stopped? There isn't anything interesting to see here.
Isn't there any way to stop them from fighting?
A way to stop them from fighting?
Destroy their famiglia.
Yes! Some way to solve their problems without breaking things or hurting anyone. Wow, I feel so painfully naive. Maybe there can't be peace, but surely there are other ways they could resolve their differences.
I mean, there are other ways other than blowing up entire sections of a city every day.
Such as?
Confiscating their weapons.
I know! We could confiscate their weapons!
That's not happening.
That was fast.
Yes. While there may be a remote possibility of it working, I wouldn't recommend it. Force will be required to confiscate their weapons. I think the future will differ quite drastically from the one you're envisioning.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Dictatorship.
Your ideas may not hold much water, but a method to stop the fighting.
Is there one?
A very good question. I believe it untenable in this current situation.
Untenable. Even for you?
Indeed. If I were to make a proposal, they aren't the type to accept it. It's easier to just allow them to do as they please, as long as no serious injury is caused. It's not all bad either. They're always paying us reparations since they're always damaging things inside our territory.
Oh, Mr. Kyrie. Hmm?
Kyrie grumbled to himself, his obvious annoyance contrasting the gentle, relaxing music being played in the store.
Just a minute, I'm almost done. I like these hair ornaments, but maybe that necklace would be nice too.
I think they both look nice on you, so please, hurry it up.
Wow, could he be any less interested?
Man, boyfriend doesn't like shopping.
Shock. Mr. Kyrie, do you never worry about things?
That question wouldn't have anything to do with this current situation, would it?
Yes.
It does. I'm worrying so much about one little accessory, but you're always so cool-headed, Mr. Kyrie. I guess I was just wondering if anything bothers you.
Nothing seems to bother me, huh? Are you trying to suggest that I'm some kind of brainless, self-righteous optimist? Even I have a worry or two. I literally told you about one like 5 minutes ago.
Okay, like maybe 15. No, maybe less than 15 minutes ago. We've only been streaming for like 40.
Yeah, but how many days was that ago?
Like a week?
It's a long time.
So maybe you should be Cora after all, for her memory.
What memory?
You know, you're so close to just saying her line right now.
No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. You already said half of it.
Say your line.
Like what?
Well, if you want me to volunteer something, you need to go first. It's not fair for me to be the only one sharing here.
Why not? Fine. I wish I were better at cooking.
I wish I were better at cooking.
No, that's a very difficult proposition.
I know, right? It's really... Wait! That was really mean! You didn't have to say it that way!
But it's true.
You suck at it.
I'm fairly certain you're the only one to have ever managed to break a window in the kitchen while trying to make eggs sunny side up.
Challenge accepted.
Don't accept that challenge. Your roommate will be very upset with me.
Not with you, with me.
Well, that just kind of happened.
Really? Then what about what happened the other day?
Enough! Don't say another word!
Your problems are just so trivial and infantile.
Well, they may seem trivial to you, but they're serious problems for me. I mean, what do I wear in my hair? I don't know.
You wear a flower in your hair.
Now it's your turn. Come on, give me your answer.
Very well. My troubles. I know. Boredom describes it rather well.
Boredom?
Yes. This brain of mine can predict everything. I am always simply walking along the path of my predictions. So meeting you was a profound delight for me. I never would have been able to guess that an amnesiac girl would show up on our doorstep. I've investigated every record in town, but I haven't found a shred of information about you. Have you any idea how much pleasure that fact gives me? You couldn't possibly understand, could you?
Spoilers, we don't actually exist.
You had no past, and I couldn't predict your future. As someone simply living in the present, you are an object of great curiosity to me. I am literally objectifying you right now.
Yes, he is.
In the least sexual way, thank God.
He's the best boyfriend we could have right now, apparently.
The best and worst?
Can we date no one? Is no one an answer?
Not in this game. In real life, yes.
But I do want to go on a date in real life. But I do want to go on dates in real life.
Then go on them.
I just don't know with who.
Something, liking them comes later? Question mark?
But why would I go on a date with somebody I don't necessarily like? What if I hate them 5 minutes in?
Were?
Oh, yes. As I am in your future now, I'm able to predict what will happen. However, Right now, I am doing my best not to think about anything. It's much more fun that way.
Yeah, just turn your brain off for a while.
Sorry, I think he has to break whatever object, and then I don't think that's for a while. I think that's permanent.
Where's the fun in that?
Huh? Why is the bed empty? Mr. Kyrie is not here? What an awkward way to yawn.
A foie?
Yeah. Do you put a foo in front of your yawn?
Well, like, that's a stretchy yawn. I could see that being a foie.
Please, yawn, but with a foie. Foie, 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 foie.
It sounds like a Mandark laugh. Foie, 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 foie.
Good morning, Miss Cora.
Mr. Kyrie!
Get dressed. Ramia said breakfast is almost ready.
I was wondering this earlier. Like, what is Karamia's reaction to Kyrie having stolen Axel's girlfriend?
Honestly, I could see his reaction being like, as long as they're not at each other's throats, I don't care. Let's just make sure they don't kill each other.
Yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, Karamia is also like he would be the first to acknowledge that that's not fair to Axel.
Yes. But ultimately, I think if he was like, if that's what she decided, that's how this went down, as long as they're not killing each other, like...
Oh, I mean, I don't think he'd do anything about it, but what would
yes,
his
you definitely would be like,
opinion
no,
be?
Kyrie, you did bad.
Okay. Mr. Kyrie, did you go somewhere last night?
Why do you ask?
I'm not totally sure, but I seem to remember you being gone when I woke up for a bit last night.
You must have imagined it. I was by your side all night.
Oh.
Do you not believe me?
Yes. He smelled warmly and sat down on the bed. He gently set the paper bag he was carrying on her lap.
I do not believe him. Because he's smiling. Warmly.
Liar!
Well, let's get back to that another time. This is for you.
A cookbook?
Indeed. Don't you think it's about time you learned to cook at least one dish? I'm not about to say something so old-fashioned as women should know how to cook. However, if you cannot work and laundry is the only household chore you're capable of doing, it's a bit... You understand, don't you?
For a second, I thought he was going into, you're a woman, you should know how to do this.
No.
I don't care if you're a woman or a man, but you should be not entirely useless.
I mean, I am very firmly on the side of I don't care what your gender is. I agree that you should be able to make one thing consistently well. Everyone should be able to do one thing well consistently at cooking. Because otherwise, you will starve. Starving is bad.
Aww.
No starving.
My hope that you will quickly become adept in the kitchen is so faint it wouldn't even be comparable to the stars at dawn. So please, just take it at your own pace.
So mean. He's got a point, but also so mean.
There's better ways to say these things.
I mean, he's just generally speaking, he's a little bit kind of emotionally abusive.
A little bit?
Relative to Toma.
Okay. Toma is not really that, like...
That's my point. Thank you for getting it.
You can't really compare anyone to Toma.
Really? Because I think you tried comparing Karamia last time to Toma. Mr. Kyrie, I made a special pudding. Oh, I see. I must prepare myself for this. Prepare? Yes. To die, that is. Oh, stop it! Don't say that.
I haven't put the cyanide in yet.
Does my cooking scare you that much? Oh, come on. Cora wouldn't put the cyanide in. Kyrie would, to spare himself the pain of eating it.
Wow.
Well, to a reasonable degree. I mean, just the other day I pulled a knife out of the saucepan.
Just stop it! It's fine this time. I followed the recipe and everything. See? Look! The pages are all ragged because I was reading it so much.
As if that's something to be proud of. Are you sure you just don't know how to use a book properly?
Sorry.
Wow, calling Cora dumb.
I mean, she is.
Well, I know you're trying. I ought to go ahead and partake.
And now he's comatose for the rest of the routes.
Hmm?
A pudding sat in front of Kyrie. Although it would be quite hard to call the yellow object a pudding by any reasonable standard.
This is not pudding! Coo! Coo!
I am looking for pudding. Here's some pudding, Yogo-san. Lies!
This is not pudding! Coo! This is an insult! An insult to pudding everywhere! Coo! Coo!
I must go in search of the one true pudding.
The one not made by Cora. Coo! I know it looks weird, but I'm sure it tastes fine.
The one
Probably.
True pudding is the friends we made along the way.
Hmm?
The one true pudding is the friends we made along the way.
What friends? Cora has friends?
Yeah, it's called all our exes.
I believe you're talking about Iki, actually.
Hmm?
Iki's friends are his exes. And Kent. His
Oh.
exes, you know?
I was very confused for a second.
Why?
Like, what are you talking
Have
about?
you goldfished that entire thing?
Some of it, yeah.
Okay, do you remember what I'm talking about now?
Yeah. I do. Are you saying he's dating Kent?
That is what I said like 3 minutes ago when I made that joke, yes?
Okay. The moment it entered his mouth, his face stiffened up. She clutched at her chest and timidly began to ask the obvious question. Are you having a heart attack?
How does it taste?
Disgusting.
Would you rather have Karamia's cooking?
Yes, actually. God. Someone worse than Karamia. I didn't even think it was possible, but...
Oh! I even tasted it and everything. But I don't have taste buds, so...
I was about to say, Cora, are you sure you're not like me?
I was gonna say, are you sure you don't want to be Cora, Sharky? It sounds like you
Yes.
already are.
I'm very sure I don't want to be Cora.
Lacking in taste buds, lacking in memory,
Lacking
exceedingly
in
naive about some
intelligence.
things, and oblivious.
Lacking in intelligence, too. Her shoulders slumped as she squeaked out an inaudible apology. They stiffened right back up when he lifted her chin up and planted a gentle kiss on her lips. He narrowed his eyes at the sight of her surprised expression and stroked her hair.
That kiss was much sweeter than the pudding, wasn't it? So you can try again.
So harsh. But that's sweet at least, kind of. I mean, I guess technically everyone else says that Karamia's cooking is delicious and amazing. And Kyrie is the only one who calls it bad. So if he also calls Cora's pudding disgusting, maybe it's a compliment. Teasing me again. You're so mean, Mr. Kyrie.
Yes, I am mean. You're such a strange girl, repeating things you've known for quite some time. It was quite good for your first attempt. Work harder to devote yourself to me.
No.
Work harder to improve yourself, regardless of me.
Would be the better.
Yes.
Oh, I thought we could skip it.
You will now pledge your oath to the Famiglia. I, Karamia, the Don of this Famiglia, and Kyrie, its consigliere, will bear witness. Becoming part of this Famiglia means carving the words I'm about to speak into your heart, and never breaking that oath. You may not meet with members of another Mafia Famiglia alone, except on Sundays. You must attend the people of our territory with a kind heart, unlike Kyrie. Lend an ear to their complaints. Do whatever you can to make their lives better.
Oh, please. Kyrie attends the people kindly. His heart is not necessarily kind, but he is kind to the people of the territory. He's just really mean to all his friends.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I mean, technically, like, would you say that I am not a kind person to strangers?
I've never seen you deal too much with strangers.
Would you say I deal with my friends with a kind heart? If you say yes, I'm going to laugh.
Depends on the friends.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay there, Titus.
Titus.
Click. You must always keep the Famiglia first in your mind, even if the situation demands your sacrifice. This pledge you make to the Famiglia is absolute. You must be sincere and faithful to the Famiglia. That is all. Do you vow to uphold that oath?
I feel like sincere and faithful is the part that Kyrie struggles with. Yes, I do.
I now pronounce you man and wife. And thus concludes the oath.
I swear this is the same.
Yeah, but I guess it's just marked differently in the back.
In the
This
back end.
concludes the oath. All that's left is the brand.
Brand?
The oath binds your heart to the Famiglia, and the brand binds your body. You literally carve the symbol of the Famiglia into your body. Karamia, I will handle things from here.
What is their symbol?
I'm assuming it's this.
Oh, I was gonna joke it's Toto. Just you.
Yes. 2 witnesses are only required for the oath, so please, leave now.
No, I have work to do. If you want to be alone with the Signorina, can't you go to your own room?
Well, true. Thank you for the uncharacteristically good advice, you stupid, ugly lion.
Did you have to use both stupid and ugly?
Does the brand hurt? Does it hurt to be branded like a cow?
Yes! Pain does hurt.
It's not as if it's completely painless. You are burning your skin.
Burning skin.
Indeed. A hot metal implement is placed upon the skin for the better part of a minute. The babies always cry.
Babies? You even do this to little children?
Most people receive the brand as children. Famiglia affiliation is largely hereditary, so it's generally determined from the moment you're born. Cases like yours are exceedingly rare. The implement is almost ready. Do you have any particular place you'd like the brand to go?
It can go anywhere?
Yes. Anywhere on your body is acceptable. Naturally, we could even put it somewhere only I would be allowed to see.
Whoa there. Then she...
Loading screen.
And lastly, we'd like to mention the girl we've recently added to our Famiglia. Karamia, if you will.
Cora has joined Famiglia Oz. Of her own volition, of course. Are there any objections?
If there are, too late. We've already branded her.
Exactly.
貴様らとずっと共に過ごしてきたのだ。そうなるのが自然だろう。この場にいないヘイディも異論はあるまい。
自然なのか？あいつはアンデルセンは来ないのか？
Yeah, you're a baby like us.
Because you blow everything up.
But you're a baby like us.
カラミア様がおっしゃっていたではありませぬか。ご意志で加わられると。
オズばっかりずるいぞ。アンデルセンこそ人手不足なのに。
人手は足りないけど、動物がたくさんいるからいいんじゃないかな。
さようですな。昨日もガチョウが多く生まれました。動物の多さならどのファミリーにも負けてはおりませぬ。
The worst animal to have attack you.
That's exactly why they're powerful. I'm just sitting here like... Was Juliet the name of their goose before? Did she have a bunch of children?
After the beauty pageant.
Yep.
そうだな。人数が全てじゃない。アンデたちにはいっぱい仲間がいるからな。小娘一人オズにくれてやるぞ。
アンデルセン
Miss Heidi? Hey, look, she's in the different color again.
Yeah.
遅いぞヘイディ。今の今まで何をしていた？
うるさいわね。黙ってなさいね、小耳。
なんだと？
アンデルセ
Mean
ン。
what?
あんたたちよーくもうちの小屋を焼いてくれたわね。
What? She called Pache cat ears.
We got what?
何の話だ？
とぼけるんじゃないわよ、ちびがき。今朝、ヤギ小屋に放火したのはあんたたちでしょ。
We haven't set anything on fire yet.
ついてくだされ。
Hmm?
何のことやらさっぱりわかりません。
Ande's gonna be like, I haven't set anything on fire yet.
涼しい顔してんじゃないわよ。握りつぶされたいの？火と言ったらあんたたちじゃない。マッチマッチと毎日騒いでるし、絶対アンデルセンの仕業よ。
アンデたちは放火なんてしてない。そんなことしたらヤギがかわいそうだ。火だったらグリムも使うし。そうだそうだ、グリムがやったに違いない。
容疑かけられてっけど、どうするグレーテル？
問題ないわヘンゼル。犯人は私たちじゃないけど、小屋が燃やされるなんていい気味。
ですって。あん
We didn't
た
do
た
it.
ちね。あんたたちが燃やしたのね。
You know, you still have to hold up the other part of the title. You should see
We
that.
didn't do it, but we would if we wanted to.
違うって言ってるんだけど、図体でかすぎて張力がないの。
Whoa, fat shaming, not cool.
俺たちは爆破専門だからな。
爆破してみる？
やっちゃうのか？
そう、やっちゃうの。これだけ騒いでるってことは被害は大きいはず。弱り目にたたり目ってやつ、追撃して滅ぼすの。
グレーテル、それ本気で言ってる？
本気に決まってるじゃない。うざいのよあんた。アンデルセンとまとめて潰してやるわ。アンデたちともやる気か？
I mean, you did just throw them under the bus.
ええ、弱っちくて目障りだから消してあげる。
Yeah, but like, Gretel probably would have done that for just Ande looking at her.
Oh, she would do it even if Ande didn't look at her. I like how they had that whole, like, extended conversation in the scene, fully voiced and everything, and it's just like, this is the least important to anything.
Watch, it actually is the most important thing to this route.
Do you mind if I intrude? Intrude? What a strange thing to say. You wouldn't happen to be under the impression that this is some kind of personal residence, would you? If you think that, you should.
Kyrie-sama.
Yes. I was wondering if I could rent a room. There's quite a storm going on in one corner of town. You wouldn't happen to be fully occupied amidst all this tumult.
まあ、そうですが。
Why the reluctant answer? I simply want to rent a room. I'm not seeking any other services.
You're not seeking to get your hair
失礼い
done?
たしました。
Hmm?
部屋を用意しますので、そちらにおかけになってお待ちください。
He's not seeking to get his hair done. What?
Mr. Kyrie, just what kind of place is this? Good question. Let's just say it's a lodging house. It's rather noisy at the estate and in town, isn't it? This is an excellent place to enjoy some quiet.
お待たせしました。こちらへ。
Kyrie glared at Manboy and suddenly drew his gun. Before he could even so much as take the safety off, however, Manboy had intercepted his wrist. The keen edge of a knife gleamed against Kyrie's white skin.
Mr. Kyrie? I see you're thoroughly prepared for ambushes.
冗談が過ぎますよ、キリエ様。相手があなたでなければ殺してしまうところでした。
Why? He sighed as he put his knife back into his breast pocket.
He's just testing the security of the place that they're going to be staying.
館内は安全ですから、 どうかご安心を。何かあったときは俺が対処しますので、銃器の使用はお控えください。
That really scared me.
She sat on the edge of the bed, unsure of where else she could take a seat.
Even though there's a chair over here and some stool chair thing over here.
He shot her a glance through the mirror as he stood in front of the dresser, loosening his tie.
Yes!
Because he pulled a knife on ya.
It really shocked me when Manboy pulled that knife on you.
I fully expect you to pull a gun on people.
Didn't you hear him? This is a secure location. It's secure because he is so skilled at what he does. Any intruders would be dispatched quickly and neatly.
Oh, he must be very dependable.
Hearing you say that makes me feel a bit jealous. How unlike myself.
He tossed his jacket and gun onto the dresser.
Mr. Kyrie?
He approached her and pushed her onto the bed.
Oh, God. Okay, gotta brace myself for how, well, this line is. Or maybe I should get more wine before I read this.
No.
Fine, I'll read it and then get more wine.
Gosh dang it, you.
You are my woman. Don't talk about other men. Don't even think about them.
I think that might be a little difficult.
Perhaps, but please do so anyway. Look only at me. Think only of me. What preposterous things you draw into my mind.
I mean, at least he's acknowledging it's absolutely ridiculous.
Then why did he say that? He could have just not.
He's indulging himself in foolishness because he usually doesn't get to.
Could he just not?
When I'm with you, my thoughts become so foolish.
Could he just not?
Hmm?
What is it, Miss Cora? You keep stopping suddenly.
No, it's just... Can't you hear that? Music... No, a flute?
That sound. Where is it coming from?
Kyrie grimaced. It was a stark contrast to Cora's vaguely puzzled expression. She surveyed the area, searching for the source of the melody like he was, all the while wondering what was going on.
Isn't that...
Something caught her eye on the road connecting the church and the mansion. Standing in the middle of it was none other than Karamia.
Well, there is a flute playing after all.
Yes.
Karamia.
Maybe he came to meet us?
Kyrie grabbed her arm when she tried to walk closer to the dawn.
Mr. Kyrie?
What a high-maintenance lion you are. Miss Cora, please hide over there.
High maintenance... What? High maintenance lion. Do you not realize after all this time yet that Karamia is a lion?
Roar.
You'll understand shortly. Now go.
She rushed to hide by the mansion's gates as he insisted. But she still peeked around them to watch Kyrie as Karamia approached.
I may have said I was going out, but I didn't tell you where. How did you know I'd be here?
Karamia didn't answer Kyrie's question. He just continued walking in silence. It wasn't as if he was walking past Kyrie. The Don's eyes were affixed to him, like a predator hunting its prey.
A wild beast, I see. This savagery is what makes animals such trouble.
Without a moment's hesitation, Kyrie drew his gun and fired. Cromia took that as his cue to break into a sprint. He charged right at Kyrie, weaving back and forth to dodge the incoming fire.
So you really are being controlled by the sound of that pipe. When did Hamlin come back to town?
Cromia's hands now ended in vicious claws, and his pupils had narrowed into cat-like slits. The Cromia before their eyes was no longer a man, instead becoming a beast running on pure instinct and devoid of reason. If he caught either of them, he'd rend their flesh and smash their bones.
I'm not having any of this.
Kyrie bent back to dodge Cromia's lethal swipe. He had to retract his arm to keep it out of the Don's reach as he did so, struggling to bring his weapon back to bear. Before he could pull the trigger, though, Cromia batted the weapon out of his hands with a second swing. Sharp claws slashed across Kyrie's shocked face.
I'm shocked too now.
He's getting beat?
You stupid lion.
Before Cromia could recover from his own attack, Kyrie countered with a swift elbow into his defenseless stomach. Ow! He may have been ferocious, but his body wasn't made of steel.
That's Axel. Just kidding, that's Tan.
If Kyrie were as strong as Cromia, the fight would have ended after that single blow. But
Sadly, Kyrie is made of straw.
Kyrie was forced to retreat, frustrated at his own lack of strength and the fact that he dropped his gun. Kill.
Yes, that's the spirit. Do try your best. It is rather troublesome how hard your attacks are to read without any semblance of strategy behind them.
Cromia cocked his head quizzically. Not even Kyrie could tell how much longer he had before Cromia would attack once more. Something fell gently onto his shoulder, causing Kyrie to glance upwards.
Rain. What a detestable development. I didn't bring an umbrella. And I'm made of straw. How inconvenient.
Oh no, I'm melting!
He's the scarecrow, not the Wicked Witch. I'm getting more wine. No, I'll wait until the end of this, because I'm assuming we're doing the other one too.
Because you're assuming what?
Well, we're doing the other end as well.
I would hope so.
Well, let's hurry, because we're already at 120.
Raindrops fell ceaselessly from the ashen sky, drenching building, plant, and person alike. Kyrie took off his hat and combed his fingers through his hair as he prepared for Cromia's next move. He put his hat back on as he combed his memories, trying to predict Cromia's patterns of attack.
You've never been quite this out of control before.
Axel wasn't there, so he couldn't depend on him for support. Folding cora would only put him at a further disadvantage.
Even if I escape into a mansion, I can't imagine Manboy would lay a hand on a Mafia Don.
He focused on the beast in front of him, acutely aware of the fact that he had only himself to depend on.
Should I try to pick up the gun?
In that instant, it felt like time had been torn open. He thought he'd put enough distance between them, but he was wrong. In the blink of an eye, Cromie was already in front of his face. Ah! Roar!
Wow.
What?
What an incredibly adorable roar from Cromie in this situation.
Just roar! Long claws swiped at him. Kyrie dodged away, but he wasn't as fast as the pair of Karamia. The tips of the lion's claws dragged across his cheek and down his neck. Staggering back, Kyrie put a hand to the wound as he grimaced in pain.
How odious. You've gotten my gloves so dirty.
Rain, sweat, and now fresh blood. Not a trace of pure white fabric remained. He pulled his gloves off with his teeth and tossed them onto the road. Put his lips to the back of his hand and thought, as he tried to forecast Karami's next actions once again. The Don's breath billowed out in white clouds, his body trembling from head to toe with barely restrained savagery. His dead eyes were fixed on Kyrie as he growled, grrr, his lips peeling back to bare his fangs. If he'd gotten down on all fours, he would have really looked like a feral animal.
'Cause he is one.
If you were still a cowardly lion, you probably wouldn't be rampaging like this, I imagine. That courage of yours is so troublesome.
Strangely enough, he didn't feel afraid. Maybe it was because he was up against Karamia? Or maybe it was because he actually thought he could win. Or maybe... How do we do this? Kyrie? I don't know.
You're not going to take me down like that, you stupid lion.
As Kyrie sidestepped Karamia's blundering charge, the consigliere reached out and grabbed the back of the lion's overcoat. Karamia turned around instinctively as the coat was pulled from his shoulders, only to be greeted by the sight of his coat flying right back at him. What? Looked stupidly at the coat over his head. What a cat. Kyrie tackled him to the ground. Kyrie glanced at Cromie as he lay groaning and placed his right foot on Cramia's back before patting him down. His hand stopped when he found the belt underneath Cromie's suit.
Good, so you did have them on you.
He drew the handguns out of Cromie's holsters, tucking one of them into his belt. Cromie had managed to worm his head out from underneath his coat, his eyes glinting as he twisted to try and free himself from the pin of Kyrie's foot.
A cat, indeed, in all senses.
But the fight was already over. After flipping the second pistol round in his grasp, Kyrie smashed its butt into the back of Karamia's head with all his might.
Kyrie smashed a butt into Karamia's head.
Yes. Yeah.
Just what a funny sentence.
He smashed its butt.
Yep. Also, like, when we had the Axel, at least he was, like, bloodied up. Why is Kyrie's face spotless, even though it said that he got slashed more than once?
Because they didn't want to make more sprites.
Mr. Kyrie?
Cromie stopped moving with a thunk. Cora timidly crawled out of her hiding place and returned to Kyrie's side.
You're such a naughty girl. Didn't I tell you to hide?
But Mr. Karamia!
You needn't worry. He's not going to die that easily. I just hit him to knock him out of it.
Hit him? With a gun? Who are you, Axel?
Yes. It would have hurt to hit him barehanded.
I could have hurt my hand too. It's better that I didn't.
I mean, also, he took off his glove.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't gonna drill him without a glove, apparently. Kyrie stood up and then poked at Ramia's arm with his toe.
But did he take off both gloves? Maybe this is just the other glove.
He had a spare in his back pocket.
Yep.
Don wreathed senselessly. Right?
Right.
Senselessly. Whatever. Groaning in pain. Kyrie found Ramia's tie and rudely yanked him a bit closer with it.
Get up, idiot lion.
How? Kyrie, you didn't have to hit me that hard.
You had completely lost your mind and were under Hamelin's control, so you don't get to complain. You should be grateful that I was nice enough not to shoot you in your stupid face.
Wrapping Ramia's forehead lightly with the muzzle of his gun, he let go of his tie. He then gave the gun back to Ramia, dropping it unceremoniously onto his stomach with the tip of his hat.
How gentlemanly. Now then, where did you run into Hamelin?
I didn't see him directly. I was on patrol with Axel when I heard the pipe music. After that, he got control over me.
Is Axel dead already?
Yeah, I mean, boo. Ramia ejected the magazine from the handgun, weighing it in his hand before slipping the rounds one by one out onto his palm. Relieved that not a single shot had been fired, he slid them back into the magazine, replacing both magazine and weapon as he stood.
You know, you may be utterly useless, but at least you have some sense, you shabby lion.
I can't help it. I have sharper ears than most people. I knew it was coming from the direction of the slums, but I couldn't say exactly where.
Achoo!
Signorina.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Please, continue. Don't mind me. I can't do that. Ramia, I'm going after Hamelin. You take care of Miss Cora.
You're going?
You're trusting him? With your girlfriend?
Think of no man but me.
Oh, not in that sense. I meant in the... Wait, he just tried to kill you. You just complained about how easily he falls victim to the brainwashing. And how you just fought him so you know how dangerous he is. Okay, now go take my girlfriend to safety.
Murder!
Indeed. It's annoying, but we don't have any other choice. If I were to bring you along, you'd just be manipulated again. I won't forgive you if you let anything happen to her.
Don't worry, I'll keep her safe. Kyrie shot a brief glance at her before taking a step back. Tipping his hat, he pointed his index finger and held it vertically in front of his mouth. He closed his eyes and opened his mouth slightly, taking in a small breath.
Yeah, you can be Cora and I'll be Kyrie, okay?
Nope.
Why not? This line is a line I would love to be able to just regularly say.
Oh my gosh.
Crows, come to me.
The crowd trembled around Kyrie's feet as if responding to his words. This is so dumb. Pebbles rattled about and ripples formed into puddles.
This is so anime, is what this is.
The ground undulated beneath their feet. She reached out anxiously towards him.
Mr. Kyrie!
In an instant, Kyrie was enveloped in a black tempest of wings. Why? Okay.
His hair changed color.
Okay.
Also, I just want to say that this route, my lines for Cora are essentially, Mr. Kyrie! Mr. Kyrie! Mr. Kyrie!
Basically, before Cora could utter his name again, he had vanished into the darkness.
Mr. Kyrie!
Don't worry, that's nothing. So their powers are ability to go feral, crows, and nothing. Oh, what?
Axel's
like,
power, I think, is being sturdy.
and being able to like heal quickly.
Yeah.
Basically, he has Wolverine's healing factor. Got it. Rodney grabbed Cora's arm and drew her into a hug. He covered her with his coat so she wouldn't get wet.
I wouldn't say it's Wolverine's healing powers, because he doesn't really get that hurt in the first place either.
That's fair. But he did have to go to the hospital like 2 or 3 times.
Nothing.
She looked back where Kyrie had been. The spot he had been standing on was now swallowed up by a torrent of blackness. Kyrie himself was nowhere to be seen.
I'm like, Kyrie is an asshole, but he's also my favorite. This is the most goth power.
It's some kind of anime bullcrap.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck do you think we're playing?
A video game.
Oh yeah, did you see the things I tweeted from our account?
Which one? So one I'm thinking of, yes, but I don't know if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Which one do you know of?
The clown? I saw it, I'm like, I have no response. I have literally no response. I don't even want to think about this existing.
I saw it and I was just like, You know, Sharky seemed already ready to kill me over the KFC game, but this exists. Pizarro, Project Deep Dish. Play as Anchovy.
Quit this.
Huh?
Might make me just quit this.
No. No, there was another tweet that I replied to, where, what's her name? Yasmin Benoit, I think, is her name. She's, like, well-known ace person. Also a lingerie model. And she did some, what was it, like, don't rush challenge, where, like, a brush is supposed to drop from some other video or whatever. And then they, like, brush their face a couple times, and then they brush the camera, and when they, like, pull the brush back, it's cut so that they look completely different. And, like, so it starts off with them, like, looking like they're just, you know, sort of looking, like, lazy at home, like, t-shirt, whatever. And then when she pulled it back, it was so goth. I was so happy.
Gosh dang it, you.
It was amazing. What on earth is that? Mr. Kyrie! Mr. Kyrie! Mr. Kyrie! Mr. Kyrie!
It's... how should I put it? I know. It's an ability. He's spec'd into it. He's a scarecrow, so he can control crows.
I don't think that's how scarecrows work.
They have mind-controlled powers on crows.
That's pretty impressive considering how smart crows are. Crows? You mean like the bird?
Yeah. The crows are gathered in that black pillar-looking thing. Look closely, and you might notice something even more surprising.
More surprising?
A hot gust of wind knocked up almost as if to interrupt Cora. Kicked up. Can't read. She closed her eyes when raindrops flew at her. Over there, Signorina.
Huh?
The darkness before her had vanished, leaving just a few black feathers in its wake. Kyrie pointed upwards, directing her attention to the clouds above.
I love it. They even caught.
An even darker mass hung in the gray sky. Countless crows blanketed into space above the town like a shroud. They crowded together at a single point as if forming a gigantic crow. A dense knot that swiftly melted away into the clouds above.
So what I'm hearing is, Kyrie is a dramatic motherfucker.
My gosh. It's not fair that he can fly. Kyrie grumbled, wiping the raindrops that he dripped from his hair off his face.
It's not fair.
Found him.
The man was in the slums, just as Karami had suggested. He was playing his pipe under a tree, missing most of its leaves. That sight alone would have been nothing out of the ordinary, but that seemingly normal sight was completely out of place compared to what surrounded it.
Did he kidnap all of Famiglia Anderson?
Goose! The geese are attacking! Black smoke billowed up from the Boots' territory on the border of the slums. It must have been the work of the children and animals being controlled by the sound of his pipe music.
Or just, you know, Hansel and Gretel doing their shit again.
With an army of geese following them.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
Wait, now that I'm thinking about it, like, hold on. Kyrie has the power to control crows, but Hamelin has the power to control animals. Who wins?
I'm guessing Kyrie's. Guessing mind control can't overwrite
Scarecrow power?
Yeah? Sure.
I have to take Hamelin out quickly.
Adults could be forcibly restrained or even shot dead if need be. But children couldn't be handled so crudely.
Aw, he's got a soft spot.
For not murdering children! You know, that low bar.
Mm-hmm.
Any member of the Mafia, even Kyrie, would hesitate to harm a child. It was that hesitance that Hamlin exploited, bidding the controlled children to wreak havoc.
What, Biden?
That was why Hamlin had to be dealt with first. Kyrie swooped down to a spot where the pipe music hadn't reached and unleashed his crows all at once. The black mass scattered and spread out into the sky, vanishing into the ashen gray.
10, 9, 8.
He dropped toward the ground along with the raindrops. As he counted down to his landing, his eyes swept over his surroundings.
I'm just like, Kyrie is like a mage assassin. Druid assassin?
I'm still just like, sounds terrible to deal with.
And Axel, I guess, is a paladin. And Karamia would probably be a barbarian. That's why he goes berserk.
Well, yes, I do agree with that. I wouldn't say Axel's a paladin, though.
Tanky. No?
Yeah, but a straight warrior can be a tank. A paladin also hinges on belief in a higher power giving them strength.
I suppose.
So he
And what's
literally
Axel?
could just be straight warrior.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I associate paladin with heavier armor. I guess he could be a knight.
Yeah, exactly. Like a warrior can be a knight, but like paladin, like very much hinges on being like lawful good, like believing of like a god.
Oh, it doesn't have to be lawful good. It probably has to be lawful something. It doesn't have to be lawful good. It depends what they worship.
Most paladins are lawful good, but yes.
Okay, most, but it doesn't have to be.
Anyway, the houses grew larger and larger as he dropped, going from tiny scale models to toys in size. He had already identified the man he was after. A few seconds later, the man's face was visible. He was looking right back at Kyrie. His eyes were narrow and his face twisted in an unsettling, deranged smirk. Kyrie landed as lightly as a cat. No, that's Cramia.
I was gonna
The
say.
shock of the landing absorbed by his feet as neatly as springs. The chill ran down his spine in anticipation. He looked up, acknowledged the one-eyed man with a grin, and put his hat back on.
I haven't felt this in ages.
The feel of the rain on his body, the moist air, the smell of dirt. He never thought he'd feel the way he did as a scarecrow again.
I guess there are some things that don't go my way after all.
Before he'd gotten his brain, he didn't know what the future meant. Things just came and went, as simply as that.
Like Cora.
Once he'd gotten it, the future had vanished. Everything became predictable and boring. For a time, he knew the joy of learning new things. But eventually, he had learned everything there was to know. At the end of their journey, he'd obtained wisdom and memory. He'd been so sure that obtaining those things would let him lead a happy life. But once he'd gained them, there'd been nothing but emptiness. Nothing ever deviated from his predictions. Nothing made him feel anything. He had been so painfully bored. His life had been as regular as a circle, like the hands of a clock. At least, that was before now.
I found you, Hamelin.
驚いた。まさか、キリエ君が空から降ってくるなんてな。
What? He came from Sora?
I'm rather surprised myself. I never even imagined that you would come back to town. It's your fault my plans have been ruined.
While he was certainly frustrated that his plans had been thwarted, he was still enjoying the unexpected turn of events. Hamlin seemed to be similarly enjoying himself. He gazed at Kyrie with his one eye and snorted.
空から落っこちてきたことはノーコメントかよ。
I didn't come after you for a little chat. If you want to talk, you'll have the ears of my many underlings at your disposal when you're in jail.
He drew the gun from his hip and approached Hamlin. his usual smile was still on his face.
They're both smiling. What good-natured people.
I hate getting my hands dirty, but as they're already filthy, I won't let it bother me. You're going to be following my script from here on. Understand, Hamelin?
Look, they changed the sprite now.
Oh boy. Did they really just roll credits?
Seems like it. I don't know. The credits stopped working, so...
グリムの接
Yeah, I don't
続
know
は
why
すでに
that
完了
happened.
している。あとはアンデルセン、ハイジだけだ。私はヘイリーを当たる。そちらはアンデたちを頼む。
You're telling us to take care of the brats, huh? You sure are giving us the hard assignment.
たわけ。ヘイリーの説得の方が困難だ。被害が最も大きかったのはハイジだぞ。放火犯も見つかっていないというのに。
If our investigative powers have failed, it must have been the doing of someone from the slums or outside town.
だろうな。今後、町へ入る者の身元確認を徹底せねば。それでは、失礼する。
You've done a fine job of fooling them, Mr. Consigliere.
Fooling? I haven't the faintest idea as to what you're talking about.
Oh, really? Wasn't this all your devious plan?
It was supposed to be. It seems that I am still far too inexperienced. Oh.
Something caught his attention, and he briskly headed for the entrance without so much as a word of goodbye. Kamiya watched him walk off, wondering what could possibly be so important.
Honestly, I feel like of all the dating endings so far, this one's the best because there's been very little dating happening.
For now.
Yeah, but this is already like the last scene.
Yeah.
Miss Cora, I've been waiting.
Mr. Kyrie!
I'm here too, you know. I exist.
Oh, my apologies. I just have absolutely no interest in you, Axel, so I didn't even notice you were there.
Are you done talking it out?
Yes. I will now be heading to the Andersons' territory to finish things up. If you're interested, wait for me at our usual cafe.
Sure. Good luck with work.
What should I do?
Just go patrol, wherever.
That's a pretty vague order. Kyrie, I'm really glad the Signorina's here.
What's this all of a sudden?
I was just thinking about how you look so happy when you talk to her. Ugh. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy to see you like that.
Ew. Disgusting.
What? Why is that disgusting?
I said the ew before the line even showed up.
Did you think I'd feel overjoyed and bashful because my behavior makes you feel all warm and fuzzy? What a perverted lion you are, watching me speak to my girlfriend like that. This is why I hate animals.
What the
Hell.
is that supposed to mean?
You have a history of walking around stark naked without a shred of clothing, let alone underwear, don't you? Clearly you're openly looking at us with such vulgar eyes, aren't you?
Don't talk about that. Of course animals don't wear clothes.
Juliet was wearing clothing.
What's so perverse about watching someone have a conversation and... Oh, I get it. You're shy. How cute.
What nonsense are you spouting now? I'll beat your face in. Again.
Oh yeah? Why don't you try— Ow! Hey, don't actually kick me.
You asked me to try, so I did. You have no right to complain. You're holding up my date with these shenanigans, so let's get going already.
A date, huh?
What of it? We are dating, therefore we go on dates.
No, nothing. I was just thinking that maybe you could be a little nicer to me is all.
Why? I'm not dating you. Nicer to you? What an absolutely preposterously stupid idea. I refuse. Keep your jokes to your awful bedhead.
This isn't bedhead, okay?
It's styled that way for some reason.
Okay, Noctis.
Wow. But that seemed like a good end to me.
Well, it's not, apparently.
Well, I mean, technically there's no bad end, I guess,
Yes,
on the
but,
steals.
like, it's not the...
It's not the
better end.
happier ending, I guess.
Want to speed through real quick?
Mm-hmm. But I'm still gonna get more wine first.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
What about it? There's no Pete here. Or are you saying for Pete's sake because you're praising Peter and the giant boobs?
And the what? Ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
Okay, I'm back. Time to skip. Probably should have done that in the beginning. Oh well.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to give it my all. It kind of bothers me to say you had no expectations.
Really now? Well, don't try too hard. I can't wait to see you curled up on the floor, your spirits crushed. I have no intention of carrying you home, though.
I'm going to win.
Okay, then.
Good to see he's no nicer to you if you choose the more pleasing answer. Yay! I did it!
I don't believe it.
Mr. Kyrie, this is a pretty amazing hand, isn't it?
Yes, that's a royal flush. The odds against a hand like that are 649,739 to 1. Miss Cora, are you sure you didn't use some kind of trick?
Trick? I got 5 cards, and then I discarded 4. And then...
Enough. That's all I need to hear. It's painfully clear that you didn't do anything. I rarely manage such a hand. Beginner's luck is something to behold.
Okay, so the good end for him, where we, I guess, get along better with him, is to be so stupid
You baffle.
that we luck our way into confusing him, which keeps us interesting.
Apparently. Apparently. Blackness.
What? Kyrie getting swallowed up by crows again?
No.
Not yet, you mean?
The skip button. Something fun.
Something fun?
Like?
Like, oh, like plans for a date?
If that were the case, I wouldn't have brought you to my room for that.
Oh, yeah. And what could it be? Unlike Karamia, you don't think that staying in your room sleeping next to each other is a date. I don't know.
Kyrie smiled knowingly as he walked further into the room. Are you sure you want to press the skip button?
Yes.
You are good enough for me.
Don't worry. You are good enough for me.
Oh, I see. Are you a masochist or something?
What makes you say that?
I mean, it's certainly not normal to think that about me. And then again, perhaps we fell in love because neither of us are normal. At any rate, this is the part where I can hit the skip button again.
Okay, well, you know, that didn't add any context, so cool! The sentiment makes me very happy. Scene change. There is something I've been wondering. Do you mind if I ask pretty bluntly?
Bluntly, huh? Certainly. Please go ahead.
Your eyes are different colors, aren't they? You're always hiding it, so I didn't notice. But your right eye is green, and... Huh? No, wait. Purple?
Oh. Is it purple right now?
Right now?
This eye happens to change colors depending on the situation.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Well, I never mentioned it, and I do normally conceal it with emo hair. It's a bit of a long story, but would you care to hear it?
Yes, please!
Thank you. A long time ago, I wasn't human. I was a scarecrow.
A scarecrow?
Indeed. I was a scarecrow with no brain and a body stuffed with straw. I was made by an old man inside a barn near a big farm. I was tied together with string and my head covered in cloth. My eyes were painted sky blue, and my nose and smile were drawn with charcoal. And that's all I was. The old farmer put clothes on my body, gloves on my hands, and a hat on my head. The hat wasn't on right, and so I became Frosty, the snowman, and came to life.
Happy birthday!
I'm just saying, like, wait, are you saying that you came to life because he put the hat on your head? Kyrie, the scarecrow.
Bumpity bump bump.
It was askew, so it didn't protect my right eye from the rain. Whenever the water washed the eye away, the old farmer would repaint it. Perhaps he ran out of blue paint, or perhaps it was simply capriciousness, but he painted it differently each time. If only I could have advised him to simply fix my hat. At the time, I was an idiot and thought nothing of his actions. The old farmer cared about me and painted my eye back on for my sake. That alone was enough to make me stupidly happy.
It's hard to imagine you acting like that.
You don't have to imagine it. At any rate, my eyes being mismatched is a remnant of my time as a scarecrow. I wouldn't mind so much if it were simply a different color. Then I could just be like Graves. The real trouble is that it changes depending on my mood. It's blue when I'm sad, yellow when I'm happy, and so on. I have a mood ring for an eye. That's why I hide it with my hair. I couldn't live my life with my feelings exposed on my face like that. I have to wear my hair in emo hairstyles because I don't want anyone to know how I feel.
Okay there, Neku.
Look, he's got an emo hairstyle. He's talking about how his hair's always covering one eye. That's the classic emo look. Really? I never know what you're thinking, so I think it'd be nice to be able to know a little, or something like that.
That's not necessary. When I want you to know how I feel, I will tell you directly with my own mouth. More importantly, I can't serve as consigliere if my emotions seep out onto my face all the time. This is a secret just between us. You must never tell another soul. Understand?
I understand. I'm not going to tell anyone. Oh, by the way, what feeling does purple indicate?
No. That is a secret. Why don't you guess? Of course, I'm not going to tell you if you're right.
Oh, you're so mean, Mr. Kyrie.
Where's this coming from all of a sudden? It's not as if I've only just started to be mean. Now, why don't you guess? What am I thinking right now? What sort of feelings am I harboring toward you in this moment?
Wow.
What?
I said, just wow.
The only wow is there is absolutely zero reason for him to be in that pose and lack of clothing in that CG. That is pure, like, thirst base.
What?
There was literally no reason that CG had to be in there whatsoever. They did not talk about it or anything.
Obviously, they wanted to please their fan base.
They have a fan base?
All
Wait,
four
people
of
play
them.
this game besides us?
All four of them.
Miss Cora, please walk
Please
on
hit
this
the
side.
skip button.
Please walk on the side of the skip button. Yes.
Peace negotiations.
Like peace negotiations or something.
Peace. Oh.
Teach them how to care for one another, and what a wonderful thing treasuring life is. Oh god, I sound so fucking corny.
Well, perhaps. But that would be quite difficult for me.
Why?
I enjoy hurting people, and I've professed as much. I'm not sure even the most beautiful words on the subject would be credible coming from me.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Kyrie, have you heard about people from other Famigliae causing trouble all throughout town today?
Indeed. The Grimms and Andersons, correct? I know because I happen to be in the vicinity.
Seriously? You're not hurt, are you?
I'm standing right in front of you, aren't I? Miss Cora is safe as well?
Oh. What? Were you out with her?
Is that a problem?
No, it's not weird for a couple to be doing that. It's pretty normal.
That's why it's weird for you.
What's with that? It almost sounds like you're suggesting that I don't qualify as normal.
Well, it's true. You're the strangest person in our Famiglia. It's just surprising that you can manage that.
What do you mean by that?
Just making time for someone else and spending it with them. Maybe if it was a Sunday, but you don't seem like the type to go out to the casino midday during the week. Procrastinating on work like this even. It's just weird is all. Normally you're pushing me to get things done so you can go to bed. I don't want to whine at you about having left all this work hanging to go have some fun. So why don't I just take care of it? You know, you can be pretty cute sometimes, but only sometimes.
Stop hitting on me, Lion. I find that term thoroughly distasteful.
But I can't help it. You really are cute. Can't forget what you were like before you started dating with Signorina. But if this is what she does to you, maybe it's a good thing.
Move your hands, not your mouth, stupid lion. Oh, he's blushing. So intensely.
Mm-hmm. Yes, understood, Mr. Scarecrow.
I thought it was Princess Kyrie, not Mr. Scarecrow.
Yes?
Mew Mew? Okay. Gary grumbled that the skip button was pressed. I want to make you like me more.
I'm not sure if I'd really call it a worry, but I want to make you like me more.
Me?
Yes! I worry about it. Like, which accessory will make you like me more? Oh, are you mad because none of these appeal to you?
I'm not mad.
But you seem like you're in a bad mood.
Perhaps it only appears that way because you've been paying attention to those accessories and not to me. There are things you should be paying more attention to. Me.
Things I should pay more attention to? Like what?
Why don't you guess, dummy?
But why does he still call that trivial and infantile?
Don't ask me.
Hey, Axel. Are you happy now?
I'm not happy when you ask me vague things like this. What's with that question? You sound like some sort of con man.
That's because I am one. Oh, nothing. Just, what do you think we obtained on our journey? I obtained a brain, you a heart, and Karamia courage. Do you think it was a good thing that we acquired them?
What are you saying? Remind me, who was the one who said that they weren't things we should abandon out of regret? To just give up on the idea?
That was me. I remember, as if I would forget.
It may cause worry at times, but I think it's a good thing that I have a heart. If I hadn't gone on that journey, I'd still be alone, deep in the woods. The thought of it makes me feel really lonesome. You just skipped a line, I think.
Oh,
Of course.
sorry.
You did. Of course. I didn't feel anything when I didn't have a heart. Can't go back to that. I don't want to. May have lost some things, but the things I've gained in return are much greater. I think I could say I'm happy.
Sorry, my roommate was chasing Gatesith back into my room for doing something wrong.
Oh. No, honey. You're not going back out. You just got chased back in. I don't know what you did, but you're not supposed to.
Yeah, I got distracted by my roommate shooing her back into my room, so.
My, how proud you sound. You don't even know what you lost.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing at all. Now I'd best be getting back to the office. Good day.
Yes, Mog? Do you want to come in too? Okay.
Good day, sir. Wait,
Good day.
Kyrie, are you unhappy? Are you struggling with something?
Hey.
Now that is a secret. One which I will absolutely never share with you. Never share.
Yeah,
Never.
Why?
If consulting you would have helped, I'd have had this resolved ages ago. In short, talk is pointless. Why not try dreaming about what my troubles could be like? Could be like the robot you are. On that note, good night. I will see you tomorrow.
I'm like, did Axel and Karamia really lose things the way Kyrie did, though? I don't think they did.
What? You cut out.
I don't think Axel and Karamia really lost things the way Kyrie did, though.
Kyrie, I thought I saw you go out late last night. Where did you go?
How do you know I left my room?
I was reading because I couldn't sleep. I heard your door open. The footsteps leaving sounded like yours.
I see. I guess I should have expected as much from a stupid lion with such pointlessly good hearing. I wanted a bit of a drink, so I ended up at a bar. That's all.
Seriously? Why didn't you invite me? We never have the chance to do that.
My apologies. I will be sure to invite you when the next opportunity arises.
So never. Really? Kind of believe you, so it's a promise, alright?
This is why you're a stupid lion. Yes, a promise indeed. Now hurry up and make some of that disgusting food of yours for lunch. I'll deign to eat it.
It's not disgusting. It's at least above average. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. You better invite me out next time.
It's your own fault for believing lies so readily. Though, that's precisely why I chose you to be the Dawn. I never would have thought he'd have picked up on that. I need to be more careful.
Stop burning down buildings, Kyrie. Stop being an arsonist.
Is that what he was doing?
Mm.
I don't think so, because this is a whole day in and of itself. The timing doesn't seem to match.
I was right. The smell was coming from the pudding.
Axel!
Did you make that?
Yeah! Want to try some?
I would, but I won't. No, I will. Then again.
Did you miss being Axel? So, which is it?
If memory serves, you don't spend much time in the kitchen. I'm worried that it will offend my tongue and disgrace the very definition of pudding. Caw.
I like that he's not worried about offending her, but he's worried about offending his tongue.
Yes.
What are you worried for? It's just sugar, milk, eggs, and vanilla. How can those things taste bad?
Alright, I'll take some sugar.
Just the sugar, none of the rest of the pudding.
Uh-huh.
What?
Sugar is truly sweet and delicious. It's for the best.
You don't have to be so on guard. I made enough for everyone.
For everyone?
Yeah, for dessert tonight. I made it according to the recipe in the cookbook Mr. Kyrie gave me. I think it tastes fine.
I'll put Kyrie gave you. That's more than enough to spoil my appetite.
I mean, especially because that sounds so sappy. For a couple where it's your most hated frenemy and your ex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a bad rom-com.
Axel!
You're serving it as dessert? Understood. I will prepare myself for dinner.
I know Mr. Kyrie said the same thing, but is my cooking really that bad? Yes.
Burning down the house with her cooking.
No, just smashing the windows with a sunny side up egg.
Challenge accepted.
I think that's probably enough. You've done well. You can lie down if you'd like. Okay. I was surprised. It hurt more than I expected. Oh, this must be right after the
brand.
Then I. Which still cuts off the same place.
Yep.
Oh, maybe, wait. Oh, I don't have the option to, like, quickly go back.
Nope.
I was thinking, like, maybe instead of blacking out, it just continues and he's just doing it very abruptly.
Meh.
Like
fine.
the then I and then he just does it. Or something. That's why I warned you ahead of time. However, I did quite enjoy seeing your face in pain.
No, I think there was a black screen with, like, the blue characters.
While you don't have the constitution to become sexually aroused from bodily harm, you did seem to become reasonably excited by it. Perhaps we should experiment sometime.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Nothing.
Curious kinky?
He is, apparently, but he was making fun of Karami being kinky last time.
He wouldn't tease about it if he wasn't guilty of the same. Mr. Kyrie? Just kidding. Probably. I mean, he is a sadist.
Thought that was me.
That's a really funny joke.
I don't tell jokes, though. Why would I ever tell jokes?
You tell jokes sometimes. They're just bad ones.
So there's a fire at the Signora's place? There are a lot of things there that can burn easily, so this is going to be complicated to resolve.
When I went to investigate, it seemed that the damage wasn't limited to the barn. She lost about 1/3 of her pasture, too.
Seriously? Well, I can't blame her for getting mad about that. How will Famiglia Oz react to this dispute?
I suggest fortifying our borders. This is a 3-way bloodbath, but they shouldn't be making passes at us. On the off chance that they do, though, their divided forces won't be much of a threat.
Why don't we just do the usual? We could have started that fire. Who could have started that fire?
What? We didn't start the fire? Are you gonna sing?
No!
Sharky is singing?
No!
Cora gives love a bad name and Sharky is singing?
No!
Sharky is singing.
No!
What? Twitch sings?
No!
Twitch sings?
No! Hit the button.
I haven't the faintest. Both the Grimms and Andersons deny their involvement, and it doesn't appear to be the work of Boots. Perhaps some people from the slums set the fire to hide the theft of the goats.
Kyrie, you seem almost happy.
Naturally. What's not to enjoy about other Famiglia destroying each other?
That again? You really have a terrible personality.
That's why I am the second in command.
Because he has a terrible personality?
Yes. How do you think shit gets done around here?
Do you mind if I hit the skip button?
Quit stealing my lines, God.
Because you drew your gun.
Because you suddenly drew your gun. I wanted to prove to you that this place is safe. Oh, I guess this is a pretty amazing place, huh? I never knew there was a place like this in town. Indeed. It'd be more of a problem if you had known. Why is that? Because it'd mean you would come here with someone else. I might have even ended up killing that person in jealous rage.
What if we just came here by ourselves?
Nope.
He set his jacket and gun on the dresser before returning to her.
Mr. Kyrie! Even an innocent girl like you must know that this isn't just a place for sleeping, right?
It's a place for getting your hair done?
Yep.
Nice.
You can sleep and get a haircut at the same time. What a great deal.
That sounds amazing.
But is this really the time for that? You mean because of the fighting? What does it matter? That's a problem for the other famiglia. Plus, there's something rather stimulating about this situation.
Okay then.
おや、キリエ君。美しい人を連れていたと聞いていたんだが、違ったかい?
She's in the room. Just a little alcohol and essence, and she fell sound asleep.
なるほど。不良を慰めるためにここにいるということか。
Well, I don't really mind.
面倒くさそうに返答するということは別に理由があるのだね。
Dorian seemed intrigued as he took a seat across from Kyrie. The consigliere sighed, casting his eyes down towards the floor.
It may be happening between other familiae, but they're still in rest. I can't sleep soundly like this.
トリガーを引いたものとして気になって眠れないのだね。
Kyrie looked up and gulped back the explanation he was about to blurt out. The eyes of the man sitting across from him seemed all-knowing. It was apparent in an instant that lying would be futile.
How long have you known?
部下の情報収集力は優れているのでね。干渉せずとも町の事情には通じておきたい。報告では、ハイジの畜舎が燃えるよりも前に家畜はすでに殺されていた。騒いで気づかれることを防ぐためだろう。牧草地も小屋から火が移ったわけではない。短時間で効率よく燃え広がるよう細工されていた。公にはなっていないが、ハイジ領全域で水の供給が止まっていた。地下水の調査とやらで、あの日だけ断水することになっていた。アンデルセンやグリムがその情報を知り計画したとは思えない。彼らはいい意味でも悪い意味でもストレートだからね。
Both groups are extremely straight in a good and bad sense.
つまり犯人はそれ以外の勢力の誰かということになる。
And assuming that party is me, what do you intend to do about it?
何もしないよ。マフィアの争いに介入することは禁じられているのでね。楽しく傍観させてもらうだけだ。背徳は極上の退屈しのぎだ。
Wait, fall from virtue? Kyrie was among virtue?
Shaking my head.
I can't say that gives me a very flattering impression of you.
君もね。私たちは同類だよ、キリエ君。同類のよしみで理由を聞かせてくれないかい？君たちオズは何不自由なく暮らしている。タマフィアを手にかけなくても生きていけるだろう。どうしてこんなバカな真似をしようと思ったの？何？ただの好奇心だ。誰にも言わないさ。
Because she asked me to. She made such an ignorant, innocent wish to end the fighting. I wanted to try to grant her wish with my power. If the number of familiae are reduced, so are the number of quarrels. I'm not wrong, am I? So I'm moving toward that goal in my own way. I brought her with me because this is the safest place in town. On the off chance that Oz gets pulled into a gunfight, the brothel should remain unscathed.
Okay, there,
女性の
Shu.
願いのために
Hmm?
多くの犠牲を払うことを選んだということか。
I said, okay, Shu.
Which part?
One wish, murder them all.
One extremely literally taken wish. But Kyrie is technically smart enough to know what she actually meant.
She just
Shu
doesn't care.
did not understand what the guy actually meant.
Guy, you mean kid?
Technically, you're out to the guy.
Yes, but... Anyway.
Maybe that's what it is now, but in the future, this will save more lives than were lost.
そうならないとわからないほど愚物ではないだろうに。
See, technically, Kyrie understands the goal, is doing it in a fucked up way, but ultimately is sort of still granting long term the answer. It's just that she may not agree that the ends justify the means.
肉体だけの関係に留めておけばいいもの。愛情とは厄介だね。思考能力を鈍らせてしまう。
What?
I'm sorry, I thought Allo people said that sex clouds the mind. And that they can't think properly because they're so horny? I think this sounds backwards.
What?
Also, a purely physical relationship just doesn't sound fun or interesting.
Sounds, I don't
But
know.
mostly I'm just like, what do you mean romance is so troublesome it clouds your mind? Every Allo person cannot think properly once they are like, ooh, hot person.
Gotta try to date them.
Just date.
その鈍った感覚さえ君にとっては甘露なのだろうね。いやはや、羨ましい限りだ。
Your sarcasm is making my ears ring.
嫌味ではないよ。心から羨んでいる。私にはバカな真似を進んでしようという若さがないからね。
You really are being sarcastic, aren't you?
否定も無意味。そう受け取ってしまうのなら仕方ないか。計画、成功することを祈っているよ、キリエ君。
Hmm?
Murder, murder!
You or me?
I just... Heck if I know.
I vote you.
Lord Durian.
Lord Durian, yes. Lord Stinky Fruit.
Yes. Are you certain about this?
何がだい？
マフィアの構想と
Good.
門のところで争われているカラミアス様とキリエ様のことです。こうやって屋敷の中から眺めているだけでよろしいのでしょうか。
マフィアのいざこざに干渉しないという約束を私に破れと？
いえ、そういうわけでは。ですが、何もせずにただ傍観しているだけというのは、俺は。
罪人を殺すだけでは物足りない。マフィアらも殺してみたいと？
そういう意味ではありません。好きで人を殺めてなんかいません。
放っておいていいんだよ。傍観こそ私たちの役目だ。知らぬ存ぜぬでマフィアという存在に寄り添い共存する。それがこの召喚のあり方だよ。
Didn't you just ask a lot of questions?
ただし、屋敷へ入ってくるとなれば話は別だ。聖域は何人も犯してはならない。
The sacred ground of sinning.
Wasn't the word I was gonna use, but...
彼らが屋敷内へ侵入したその時は相応の対処をすること。方法は問わない。手加減は不要だ。いいね、マンボイ。
わかりました。
I was gonna be more the sacred ground of sex.
I mean, they seem perfectly fine with acknowledging that they are like a house of sin.
Yes.
So how's the sinning today? Yeah! Is this all new? It sounds the same, but...
It looks the same.
Well, this part's different, but
Yeah.
I guess you gotta read it anyway.
Rain fell endlessly from the ashen gray sky, drenched building, plants, and person alike.
Mr. Kyrie! Mr. Karamia!
She hid herself in the shadow of the gates like Kyrie had told her to. She could tell there was something unusual going on, but it was still difficult to watch friends fight like that. She watched them intently, occasionally averting her eyes when the scenes become particularly gruesome.
How long has it been since we last faced off like this? If memory serves, the last time was the incident at the church. And now, while I'm battling for my life, I'm going to reminisce. Last time, Hamelin's pipe was the cause. Your inability to learn is most troublesome. Or perhaps you're just easy to manipulate.
It's just spelled so cutely.
You can't even talk when you're being controlled like this, can you? You truly are a beast. How unsightly.
He tossed his hat at Cramia's face and ran toward the gates while the Don was momentarily distracted.
If I can just get my hands on that gun I dropped. I just need to keep him from moving and...
But the moment his fingers closed around his pistol, he felt something catch the back of his clothes. Unconsciously, he swallowed in fear. The time it took to complete that small action felt like an eternity. He spun around, greeted by two beastly eyes staring right back at him. Claws shredded through his hair as Cramia grabbed his head and smashed it down into the pavement. He cried out from the head-splitting pain. He clung to his consciousness.
Stop this at once. Cramia.
He gripped his gun tightly so as to not lose it again as he reached out for Cramia's arm with his other hand.
I can't see anything.
He could feel something sharp against his neck. His skin was pierced before he could even make a conjecture as to what was about to happen. His throat was being crushed by an intense pressure. His mouth fell open of its own accord as he gasped for breath. He was being strangled and his flesh torn. He struggled against the hands around his neck, but he was no match for Gramia's brutal strength.
You know, I thought this was supposed to be the better ending. And based on the answers, I still feel like it is, but also, yikes!
Murder!
Mia.
Mr. Kyrie!
Cora's voice made him loosen his grip on Kyrie's neck ever so slightly. Kyrie was beginning to black out. He couldn't figure out what was going on. All he knew was that Cramia was roaring, "Roar!" and Cora was desperately trying to talk him down. Kyrie kept pulling at Cramia's hands, even as his mind attempted to grasp the situation.
Mr. Cramia, please, stop!
Grrr. The hands around his neck suddenly let go. The darkness across his vision exploded into 1,000 stars as fresh air flowed back into his lungs.
Mia.
His hands flew to his injured neck as he gasped for breath. The man who had injured him now had his back turned. Kyrie gulped when he realized just who was lying at Cramia's feet.
Miss Cora.
All of his thoughts vanished from his mind. The void left behind was filled with nothing but vengeful anger. He sat up, aimed his gun, and fired at Cramia's leg. Gah! He stood up behind Cramia, who was clutching his wounded thigh.
Enough of these silly pranks, you stupid lion.
Kyrie whipped the pistol into the back of Cramia's head. Cramia let out a final yelp and dropped like a stone. For a moment, Kyrie considered putting a bullet in his stomach, but that action wasn't necessary anymore.
Anymore?
Clicking his tongue in disdain, he went over to Cora, rolling her prone form over and sitting her up.
Miss Cora, are you okay?
Mr. Kyrie, you're bleeding.
She reached for his neck. He grabbed her hand before it reached him and brought it to his lips instead.
I could say the same to you. I told you to hide. Why did you come out?
You were in danger, Mr. Kyrie. I just had to do something.
That's only something people with power can do, dummy.
I'm sorry.
I won't allow it. I will never allow you to make me worry this much again. I'm going to lecture you thoroughly once we get back to the estate.
Wow. I'm going to lecture you. I will never allow you to make me worry, so I'm going to lecture you a lot. Tut, 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 tut.
Miss Cora.
Tut, 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 tut.
Hey, hang in there. You're not the type of girl who would die from such minor injuries, right? You know, a human girl.
You're not human, right? I said I wouldn't allow it. You have a lecture to look forward to. You can't sleep yet. His voice is getting harder to maintain because this is really funny. Why can you never act in accordance with my will? Why do you torment me so? Do you hate me? If you hate me, then just push me away. I love you. I love you and I don't know why. I wanted to make you happy because I wanted you. Because I wanted you to smile. I planned everything for your sake, but it was all for nothing. I'm so stupid. Please, wake up. Please, smile at me like you always do. Tell me this isn't happening. Tell me you're not going to die. Please, I'm begging you.
We're gonna die.
I feel like I both see and don't see how this is supposed to be the better ending.
Skip.
Happy end! She is dying and so is he. Shall we, my dear? Mr. Kyrie, can you put me down? My, whatever is the matter? I can walk on my own. This is kind of embarrassing. You're embarrassed? Ignore the eyes of those degenerates. Look only at me. Okay. Now, I will bring Miss Cora to her room. Karamia, go to the office once you finish eating. Get right to work.
What's with him? Don't ask me. Did Kyrie hit his head or... Wait, I hit him in the head, didn't I? Is this my fault? What do you think?
Wait, Kyrie is being, like, nice to Cora. Wait, is this my fault?
Like I said, don't ask me. Do you think he's changed, though? He's not the kind of guy to princess carry a girl like that. I guess they do say that love changes people, but still... I think he's changed too much.
We're here. Thank you for taking me.
Kyrie laid Cora down on the bed and sat next to her. He swung her feet into his lap, carefully removing her shoes.
It's only natural for lovers to behave this way. How are your injuries? Do they still hurt?
Setting her shoes on the floor, he began to gently stroke her calves.
No, they're all better. So, really, I'm fine. You don't have to do all this for me. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. I'm doing this because I want to. I want to interact with you without calculating things. Calculating? Indeed. I am always considering how to use people and how they will react. Just as in chess, I read several moves ahead and then arrange my pieces to achieve the outcome I desire. However, you never seem to act in accordance with my wishes. I have no idea what you're thinking, nor what your next move will be. Trying to think about it is futile, so I've decided not to. It is rather fun to imitate your lifestyle, where things just happen with no regards for the consequences. I feel like I'm an idiot again. Are you making fun of me? Of course I am. You are an idiot after all. My beloved woman is a cruel person who would trample on the puzzle pieces I took such care to assemble.
The bed creaked. She opened her mouth slightly, gazing up into the eyes staring down at her.
Mr. Kyrie, what about work? Don't worry,
worry about it. That stupid lion can wait. Didn't I just tell you that I want to do as I please? I'm going to take you when I feel like taking you.
No! That's called rape. Kyrie, no. Okay, there we go.
Of course, I'm not about to force you. Do you object?
No.
Wonderful. If you turned me down now, I'd feel like such a fool, and finding an outlet for my passion would be most troublesome. Now you're the only one I fuss over about every little thing. Please, stay by my side and continue to amuse me forevermore.
I'm so relieved that he's just like, of course I'm not gonna force you. You know, unlike Karamia.
Oh.
Remember that? That was bad. He was like, well, once I get into this state, I can't turn it off, and I can't be controlled. Good luck! At least Kyrie is like, well, I'm not going to force you, but this is what I want to do. But, do you object?
I love you, dearest Cora. I love you.
The end. Yay!
Yeah.
I feel like I might swap the order around after all.
I'm going to bed.
Okay, good night.
Good night and bye.
Bye, all 0 people watching.